Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Wednesday night. It's the return of the Modified Madness Tour to South Boston Speedway for 250 laps of open-wheel short track race action coming your way. Two classes, one track, battle it out here tonight. We are going to go to playing of the national anthem. When we come back, we'll give you some point standings, where your drivers might be at here tonight, and we'll hear from the man himself, Kyle Barnes. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back right after this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell, and tonight the Modified Madness Tour makes its way to South Boston Speedway for the Fort Chiswell RV Park 250. That's right, folks, 250 laps of good race action. Short track style coming at you. And it takes talking a little bit about tonight's race. We're going to bring the man himself into the booth, Mr. Kyle Barnes. Race control, a.k.a. light modified driver tonight. Possibly he'll be out on the field. Not sure. We'll have to check with him here momentarily as he makes his way into the booth now. Kyle, thanks for joining me in the booth. Tell us a little bit about the race, what we got going on here tonight.
Yeah, tonight is a special event. It's the Labor Day Bash 250. Tonight, the drivers will be allowed 4 tires for the event. These drivers will be allowed to take these 4 tires in between lap 50 and lap 200. They can take 4 tires, 2 tires, no tires, whatever they want to do, but they've got to take those tires in between lap 50 and lap 200, and they can only take those tires on 1 pit stop. So if you can't get all 4 tires on your car in 1 pit stop, then don't even bother. We're also doing some competition cautions tonight. If we go 75 consecutive green flag laps, we will throw a competition caution, get the field bunched back up. And this will also give everybody an opportunity to get tires if they want it. We feel like this will give everybody a fair chance to get those tires instead of us doing green flag pit stops and a caution coming out and screwing over half the field. So there's a couple new rules for tonight, and I think it's going to be very, very exciting. And we're also not sending Christian Peterson to the back. There's no bounty tonight. This is just a straight-up race, and hopefully we can see some great racing action out there.
What a better way to start off Labor Day early than to put these guys to work here tonight at this track. It's going to be great racing, and not only are you going to have to battle the short track out there, your tire wear as well, but definitely a lot of good strategy, especially when we've been seeing a lot of good green flag runs in this series. These guys are going to have the critical pit stops, like you said, to get down to change the tires, seeing if they can get all 4 or if they're going to be able to hold on with 2 and see how it works for them. What are your thoughts? Giving the temperatures, I'm going to put up the race information here for our viewers. Here at this 0.37 or 0.4, if you want to round up, mile track. We got 82 degrees here tonight, Kyle, with 64% humidity, partly cloudy, and a matching track temperature of 82 degrees. A little bit warmer conditions, I'm sure, than these guys would like. I'm suspecting we're going to see that middle groove in these turns really working hard, which is going to eat up those tires pretty quick. In anticipation, what would you do if you were out there racing? Would you go in for 4 tires at 50, or would you hold out to at least over lap 100?
I'd probably go at the best opportunity. With these competition cautions coming out every 75 consecutive green flag laps, you want to make sure you're going to have a good opportunity to get to pit road and get those 4 tires, and you don't want to wait too late and have to pit under green if you're going to take them. So I don't know. That opportunity might be at lap 75. That opportunity might present itself at 180. It's really going to depend on how we run tonight. There's not many cars here tonight. We luckily have a lot of drivers in our league that are actually embroiled in some real-life points battles at their local speedways and their local divisions. They're getting their cars ready for this upcoming weekend. A lot of the local speedways, I'm sure one of the tracks up close to you is also having a big Labor Day race. So we've lost a lot of drivers tonight, but I think it's also going to lean itself towards some green flag racing and probably some rubber put down on the race track.
Well, it tells you one thing great about these folks, Championship Racing Association League folks, the caliber of drivers and talent that they recruit. If you're one of these great drivers, want to be a part of the action, where can they find you, Kyle?
Just go over to championshipracingassociation.com. I think you always have a link in our description of the broadcast, so just go over there, check us out. You can also contact me on Facebook via Championship Racing Association. We got a ton of real-world drivers. It kind of hurts us on car counts during the week, but you're also going to see some great racing this upcoming winter.
All right, well, that will do it for the Kyle Barnes. Thank you for joining us in the booth. We'll catch up with you a little bit later.
Thank you.
There you have it, folks. The race control man, the administrator for the Championship Racing Association, Kyle Barnes himself, giving you a little bit of information on what you can expect here tonight. Again, a lot of good caliber driving, though the car counts may be a little bit stiff due to the guys that actually race in real life, battling in their local track championships. That still carries over into this league. So they have some great guys battling it out here as well. As we take a look, we've got about 45 seconds before we go to the grid. Taking a look, Benny Ellison still atop, and they're in the points. I believe, let me pull it back up here. It got away from me 1 second. So Benny Ellison still leads the Modified Lights division through last week. In the Tour Modifieds, it is Christian Peterson. Hence had a bounty placed on his head. Someone trying to beat him last week was able to sneak away. Peterson took the victory last week at 5 Flags, and Jason Freeman, making his return, also picked up the victory there. So we'll have to see how it'll play out here tonight. 75 lap marks are going to be your pit stops to come down and get some tires. As the guys look like they're getting ready now to make their way to the grid, folks. Again, this is the Labor Day Bash 250, also sponsored by Good Sam RV Parks, Fort Chiswell to be the exact location, the Fort Chiswell RV Park. And a little notice tonight down there in the bottom left, we have changed our logo around. We've got some things coming up as far as the Digital Forge Broadcasting website. A little bit of things to come that way. We'll talk a little bit about that later during the race, but right now, let's take a look at that grid. Starting on the pole, the number 48 of Clint Crown, the Tour Modifieds. To his outside, Zach, the Holy Man Mecca himself. In third, in the inside of that second row, the number 60 of Brian Neff. Starting to his outside, the number 17 of Adam Rigo. Cody Fisher, Christian Peterson, rounding out your third row. As we look back into the fourth row, it's going to be Robbie Bunden battling to the inside of Kyle Leveralt. Scott Naslund is on the pole tonight for the light modifieds. To his outside, you'll have Benny Ellison back there in that fifth row. Moving on back through the grid, it's going to be Austin Coop, Seth DeMerchant. DeMerchant relegated back, did not put down a qualifying time, so he's going to start back in the lights. Kyle Barnes is going to make possibly a debut here in the lights. We'll have to see if he decides to roll out that 46 car. The number 20 of Jason Freeman, last week's winner, will be rounding out the seventh row. In row number 8, it's going to be Tanner Cook and Zach Knowles rounding out your light modified division. Again, coming at you here tonight, folks, as they start to make their way off. For some reason, we do have some sound difficulties, so please stand by.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This Wednesday night, it looks like we got our sound fixed here for the Modified Madness Tour. Do apologize on the technical difficulties, but it looks like we are back in action here into lap number 18 as we follow the number 48 of Clint Crow, working his way down into turn number 3 and 4 now. Total of the first 17 laps led here for the 48 car. As he continues to work that lower part of the track, really pulling away from the field, about a 2.278 second lead over the number 42 of Zach Mecca. Started the season unsponsored, picked up lows midway through the season as you see him dive it down in the turn here into turn number 3. Back in second position down the front stretch. Being a shorter track, folks, you're going to notice a lot of the light modifieds as we see Brian Neff back there battling with Zach Mecca. Into the front stretch they go. And it looks like Brian Neff in the number 60 machine is going to take over second position here on lap number 23. Into the front stretch now, diving down into turn number 1. A few of the guys running the high lines as you see Christian Peterson, your series points leader in the Tour Modifieds, just to the inside as he works his way through turn number 3. The 46 of Kyle Barnes up on the high side running that jet black red numbered 46 light modified. Leading the light modifieds back behind him, Benny Ellison and Scott Naslin with a nice little battle as Ellison now into turn number 3. Not a lot of gap going to happen here tonight between the Tour Modifieds and the Light Modifieds. These two-barrel car, less horsepower, pushing about 450 horse out of the Light Modifieds, the red-numbered cars here. Again, if you are just tuning in for the first time, in this series we have 2 classes of cars. Everything pretty much the same, except the engine. This car right here, Benny Ellison, that we're following, making his way through turns 3 and 4. You notice the blue number 7 car. To his inside, that is Kyle Leverold. Leverold, a Tour Modified driver, pushing over 600 horse in that 4-barreled carved engine. Makes light work there of the 0-1. It is technically 2 separate races battling it out here at this 4/10 of a mile track at South Boston. Leveralt now looks to pass Barnes on the inside. Still running 6th in the Tour Modifieds. Barnes still up front in the Light Modifieds. Had a chance to talk with him. He decided to put on the race helmet here tonight. To the underneath, Adam Rigo, the number 17, red, white, and blue Tour Modified will pass the 46 of Barnes. Barnes still working the outside groove, one of the few drivers to do so. And it seems to be working well for him here tonight as Benny Ellison, just a few seconds behind the 46, makes his way across that start-finish line into turn number 1. Oh, and a big wreck in the front stretch from our Tour Modified leader, Clint Crow. Oh, wow. We're going to have to go back and take a look at the replay on this one, folks. Following the 48 of Clint Crow here. One lap prior to the incident. And it looks like it's going to be some contact with the 53 right there. A little blink up action, connection issues. And look at the air time that Clint Crow's going to receive after he makes contact with the 53 of Austin Coop, which is a light modified driver. And the 48 Lowe's machine, who has led the first part of this race, total of 34 laps out of the 35, meets the front stretch wall and gets turned around. A lot of smoke down there on that car, but he's going to try to get it worked out. Now, he did take tires. His car's been jacked up. We see it on the jack stands, taking 4 tires. This may disqualify him at a chance for points. We'll have to see how that'll work out with the race control down the road, but it looks like the number 60 of Brian Neff has gone to the lead in the Tour Modifieds. Again, talking about some changes in the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. New logo tonight down there in your bottom left. If you happen to see the Phoenix there, that's the Forge Phoenix. Recently made the change. Website to make a change as well. We'll be rolling that out later this week. Got a new league starting up tomorrow night. It's the Sim Auto Racing Association, also known as CRA. Some of the elite short track drivers you'll find out there in iRacing. They'll make a special championship race tomorrow night. Lights off that pace car. We're going to be set to go back green on lap number 39. It'll be Brian Neff and Christian Peterson up front.
Green, green, green.
And there's the green flag. We are back to the race. And Neff out of turn number 2 has the 23 of Christian Peterson behind him. 6th Man Inc. Peterson Irrigation on sponsors on that 23 car, Victory Lane. A bunch here this season. Back in 3rd position, the 42 of the Holy Man Mountain Dew. That is Zach Mecca. Cody Fisher, the 83 car, looking a little bit better here at South Boston. Joined the league about a few weeks ago. Leveralt back there, rounding out your top 5 in the Tour Modifieds. A little bit of a gap there. As the Tours roll into turn number 1, Kyle Barnes with the lights. Little 4-car battle here into the backstretch as Benny Ellison's trying to pass the 46 to the inside. Ellison now works his way out of turn number 4 behind Barnes. Barnes works that middle groove. And you can notice a difference, and it looks like we got another caution, and it's going to be the 7 of Kyle Leveralt. Let's go back and take a look. Into the front stretch, we see Leveralt make his way around. Really battling hard. And there it is, just a little bit looseness from the 7 car. Coming out of turn number 2 is going to snap it, send it right up into the backstretch wall. Head-on collision there with the wall, and I can only imagine it's going to put some heavy damage. Barnes tries to lock up the brakes. Oh! And he's able to do so. Well done from the 46 car as well as Austin Coop. 2 light modified drivers were running the high line. They were able to stop before colliding with that 7 of Kyle Leveralt. So as we see the 7 car make his way down pit road, just looks like a little bit of banged up dent on the front end. No smoke. Could be a good sign here for the 7 car. Engine still running, so we may see the 7 car return. The lights have come off the pace car here into lap number 48, lap 49. We'll be back to the green. Christian Peterson will be to the outside of Brian Neff, taking us back to the green flag. There goes the pace car into the pits.
Green flag.
And the green flag flies. We're back to the race, lap 49. Nice little side-by-side battle between Mecca and Peterson. Looks like Mecca wins the battle before turn number 3. The 23 car goes back to 3rd position down the front stretch. Into turn number 1, the Tour Modifieds really hugging the lower line as the light Modifieds now continue to battle out of turn number 2. Scott Naslin leads Benny Ellison, who's battling side-by-side with the 46 of Kyle Barnes. And it looks like the 53 of Austin Coop now to the inside. It's a close niche battle here with the light modifieds. And now the Tour Modified makes his way through. Looks like the 83 of Cody Fisher is going to go by the inside to Benny Ellison in turn number 1. It's close. Out of turn number 2, Benny Ellison nearly hitting the wall. Kyle Barnes has nowhere to go. Back there in 3rd position. The 0-1's going to push high. That's going to put him side by side. Crossing that start-finish line, and now the 46 of Barnes takes the low line. Into turn number 1, into the backstretch. Naslin still holding on to the race lead as Barnes looks to pass Ellison. Ellison is going to be hung up there in the middle groove coming out of turn number 4. Barnes still side by side as Naslin wisely chooses the lower line to block the 46 for the race lead. And Ellison now looks to the inside of Barnes as they come down the front stretch into turn number 1. Not able to get any passing action. They assume a single file line as Scott Naslin now still holds on to the race lead in turns 3 and 4. Light modifieds. Kyle Leveralt back out on the track behind Austin Coop to the low side in the backstretch. Couple laps down here for the 7. Plenty of time possibly to get some wave arounds. We'll have to see if he'll be able to hold on as he's trying to swim through these light modifieds here at lap 57. Brian Neff now across the start-finish line into turn number 1, holding on to about a half a second lead over the 23 of Christian Peterson as they roar down the backstretch into turn number 3. Christian Peterson, Zach Mecca. Nice little even gap, and here comes Christian Peterson. trying a hard dive move into turn number 1. He's going to make Brian Neff really work that outside groove now as they come out of turn number 4. And Peterson dives it down low again. He's going to look to put himself side by side with the 60. Gets a little bit loose as he snapped into the backstretch. Almost nearly sent Zach Mecca into the wall. Down the front stretch, lap number 61, and the 23 is going to try it again. Working that lower groove as he comes out of turn number 2, still behind the number 60 car. But look at him drive. The car is on a rail, folks. He is driving the wheels off of it, trying to get by the 60 of Brian Neff. And once again, in the turn, nearly side-by-side race action for the race lead. Here we go, down into turn number 3. The 6-man Inc. Peterson irrigation, number 23 of Christian Peterson. Into the front stretch, settles up Brian Neff. A tough competitor tonight here up front. Total of 62 laps led. Or excuse me, 30 laps led. Was a little too generous with that one. That matches now total 31 laps led. Oh, and he's going to be side by side down the backstretch. He's going to dive it down low. Christian Peterson just got a nose over Brian Neff, and he's going to have the race lead here into lap number 65. And Zach Mecca trying to work that lower groove as well. Oh, they're going to collide with the wall. Boy, these guys are all over the track. Coming off of a very wide turns at 5 flags into this very narrow track. Look at that. Peterson already drove the grip completely off the car. He's going to tag the wall yet again. That's going to open up the doorway for the 42 of Zach Mecca to work that lower groove. Here comes Brian Neff down low as well. Into lap number 67, side-by-side race action, a little flip-flop. As Brian Neff to the inside of Christian Peterson will take over second position. Peterson is going to make contact with the wall coming out of turn number 2. Back in 4th position, Adam Rigo, the number 17 red, white, and blue machine. Looks on as the 23 car begins to push in these turns after really working that tire grip to stay low to be able to pass the number 60 of Brian Neff. Jumping back to the light modifieds out of turn number 2 here on lap 69, some contact. Boy, that wall in turn number 2, or in the backstretch right out of turn number 2. Catching a lot of tire action tonight as Kyle Barnes made contact 1 lap ago. And it looks like Austin Coop now has moved into second position, working that lower groove to the inside of the 46. Down the front stretch will settle up behind Barnes. Looks to the inside yet again. It is Naslund ahead of Ellison as well. Fast paid by Benny CustomDirtCars.com. The sponsors on that 01 light modified as he comes out of turn number 2 behind the 33 of Scott Naslund. Some great racing here tonight, folks. Zach Mecca still holding on to the race lead as he works his way into lap 73. Holding on to the lower groove. Now Christian Peterson back into second position. Brian Neff down the low groove, and wow, Peterson yet again makes contact with the wall out of 2. Got to start to wonder what this is going to do to his tires, not only as far as the wear, but the towing on the tires, or how the tires are angled. You throw that toe out, you're not going to be able to hold the line that you want. And now the Tour Modifieds look to have caught up with the light modifieds. Down the backstretch, the light modifieds do not have to yield a line here, folks. It is the job of the Tour Modifieds to swim through them. As Mecca to the inside of Ellison here into lap number 76. Mecca and company to the inside, Ellison out to the high side. Here comes Naslund ahead for the 42. Mecca looks to take the lower groove yet again into turn number 1. Peterson's going to follow him down there. Out of turn number 2, here comes Scott Naslund to the outside. Zach Mecca, Christian Peterson battling for the race lead in the midst of all these light modifieds. Austin Coop to the high side. As these Tour Modifieds nearly make it 3 wide, Christian Peterson holding off just a bit, looks to be the faster car. As the 42 of Mecca into turn number 3, still holding on to the Tour Modified race lead, but has a fast number 23 and 60 behind him. That is Peterson and Neff, respectively, out of turn number 2. And Peterson's going to look to the high side as he wants to get around the 42 car, looking to be the faster car here. It is just a game of patience, like a chess match, folks, as Peterson looks to navigate his way around. But that light modified of Kyle Barnes holding true to the 42 of Zach Mecca, that two-barrel carved engine really working them curves, being able to stay competitive up here with the Tourer Modifieds, but it is the straightaways that finally give way to the extra horsepower of the Tourer Modifieds, and Zach Mecca, Christian Peterson clear the light modified leader. Brian Neff now to the inside of Kyle Barnes, Robbie Bundon as well as they make their way into the front stretch. Bundon's going to be side by side with Barnes. Barnes still holds on to the light modified race lead as we see the 53 of Austin Coop back there in second position. Naslin and Ellison finally wiping their brows as the Tourer Modifieds have made their way through, as Peterson looking to take over the race lead. He's hanging on to that outside, trying to make something work. Out of turn number 4, he's going to have the race lead into lap number 84. Was anticipating to see a competition caution come out here at lap 75 about 10 laps ago. Race control may have come over the radio and asked if anybody needed it, but due to the cautions we've had early on in the race, everything should be fine. A lot of the drivers probably gave the nod, said they were okay. Peterson now into the max stretch here on lap 86, still has a nice sizable lead. A 0.3 of a second lead over the 42 of Zach Mecca. Down the front stretch into the first turn, they work that lower groove. What a battle in the Tourer Modifieds here tonight. Brian Neff really throwing the competition for a loop as he has racked up a total of 31 laps led. Although you got to give it up for the 48 of Clint Crowell. The early on pole sitter here tonight is out of the race after a lap 32 incident. Led a total of lap 33 incident, led a total of 32 laps. Had an incident there with the 53 of Austin Coop in the front stretch. Eventually taking some tires down pit road, nullifying any chance at points. Therefore, they decided to go ahead and call it quits here at South Boston. So Peterson, looking like his traditional self, pulls away ahead to almost a half a second lead over the 42 of Zach Mecca. Clean air is safe air for the 23. And he looks to be out to a nice sizable lead, although Brian Neff really on the bumper of the 42 of Zach Mecca, looking to challenge him hard here into turns 3 and 4. As we look back to the light modifieds, we see Cody Fisher, Adam Rigo. Oh, Leverall is going to make contact with the wall. Able to save it though and avoid the yellow. 46 of Kyle Barnes still trying to fight off a hungry 53 of Austin Coop as they come out of turn number 4. Coop is looking for an opportunity to pass that 46, working that lower groove as Kyle Barnes has been finding his safe line in the middle groove of these turns. Take a look at this here in turn number 3. You're going to see the 46 really work the middle groove. Coop settles up, follows with him, trying to give way to the 7 of Leverall, the Tourer Modified, coming in the low side in the backstretch, and still some contact with that wall out of turn number 2. May need to get somebody out there with a counter to see how many times these guys have made contact with that wall coming out of 2. Barnes now to the outside of Kyle Leverall. Leverall back in 7th position in the Tourer Modifieds, just about 3 laps down off the pace. Barnes still making contact with that wall. Into the backstretch, Austin Coop now falls back to about 0.4 of a second behind the 46 of Kyle Barnes. Christian Peterson with about a 1.14 second lead over Zach Mecca as he works his way across the start-finish line into turn number 1. Looks like Bundon and Neff are going to battle it out coming out of 2, and it looks like Neff will hold on to 3rd position. Although the 87 of Robbie Bundon looks to make a pass, was looking to the inside. Brian Neff, another one of those drivers who started off the season unsponsored, picked up Winn-Dixie about the 5th race into the series. And take a look at that lead, folks, right there. Christian Peterson's going to make contact with the wall out of 2. They have been to a lot of tracks that have a nice wide open exit point out of these turns. Tracks like New Hampshire, Richmond, Lucas Oil even. But for some reason tonight here at South Boston, that wall out of turn number 2 has been a focal point for a lot of incidents. Take a look. You can even see the black marks on the wall from where they have made the contact. As now Robbie Bunden looks to the inside of Zach Mecca. Mecca with an affirmative block. Take a look out of the backstretch right there before the South Boston Speedway sign. You see a lot of black on that wall where the tires have been rubbing it all night long. And Bunden now looks to challenge Mecca as he has passed Neff. So Bunden moves into 3rd position. Neff looks to the inside down the front stretch. Bunden's going to close the door. And now Rigo looks to pass Neff. Oh, and Bunden's going to get tight and end up in the wall in turn number 2. That'll give Neff back 3rd position here on lap 108. Adam Rigo is looking like a competitor for 3rd position as he was challenging Brian Neff before Robbie Bunden pushed high, which forced the 17 car down low. Adam Rigo now looks to get back up to the bumper of Brian Neff to make a possible pass here. Was looking on an outside pass. Temperatures might be a little too warm to do it. We'll have to see if the 17 car got what it takes to get around the 60. Kyle Barnes now still holding on to the race lead as the Tour Modified leader, Christian Peterson, passes the Light Modified leader. Into the front stretch, into lap 111. Austin Coop still holding on to 2nd position as Scott Naslin looks on from 3rd. And Scott Naslin, if you remember a couple weeks ago, thought he was battling for 2nd position when in turn he was actually leading. He was so focused on hitting his marks that he figured he was in 2nd position. Did not know that Tanner Cook had spun out. And in doing so, Naslin took over the race lead. And when he crossed that start-finish line at the checkered flag, began to pull off the track, his crew was yelling, "Get back to victory lane." He's like, "Why? I finished 2nd. And it turns out that Naslin found out that night he had won. That was back at Stafford 2 weeks ago.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
So it looks like we're going to see a competition caution thrown here. Initially, it was going to have one at 75, but due to the cautions early on in the race control decided to push it back to lap 115. So the pace car is going to come out. They're going to get a chance to go into the pits, take some tires, make their adjustments, and we'll see what these guys got. We're going to take a short commercial break here on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network, so don't go anywhere. This is the Modified Madness Tour this Wednesday night, Labor Day Bash 250 here at South Boston.
much longer do you want to wait for Dave to talk about this dart release?
Why? What's he doing?
I'm pretty sure he's playing Pokemon again.
Again?
Yes, again.
Welcome back to South Boston this Wednesday night for the Labor Day Bash 250. Modified Madness Tour rolls in here, Championship Racing Association League. I'm Dustin Caldwell, bringing the action as it unfolds with every turn and straightaway. Here into lap 127. Crucial pit point here for the number 60 Winn-Dixie of Brian Neff has taken back over the race lead. Total of 37 laps led here so far. Started third on the grid here tonight. Really worked his way, been battling hard with the guy behind him, the 42 of Zach Mecca. Jim Beam, Mountain Dew, the sponsors on that car, as the New York driver works his way out of turn number 2. 17 laps led recorded here for this driver. Adam Rigo back in third position now. The New England driver started fourth, has 1 lap under his belt, led here at South Boston. Looking back in the light modifieds, Kyle Barnes is the man to beat, as it's a nice side-by-side battle between Benny Ellison and Austin Coop. Barnes a total of 92 laps led here in this race for the light modifieds. So competition caution coming out about 15 laps ago. Drivers were allowed to come down, take tires, and it looks like that is going to be it. May see one more competition caution yet, but if they have already taken tires, it's going to be a no-go, as race control allow them 2 opportunities to take tires early on in this race. So Coop now to the bumper of the 46 of Barnes. A little bit of connection issues before turn number 3. It's going to back off the pace just a little bit, about a quarter second behind the 46 of Barnes. Into the front stretch, turn number 1, lap 134. Brian Neff still holding on to the race lead. Nice 7 tenths to 3/4 second lead over Zach Mecca. Christian Peterson went in for tires, made some adjustments in the pits, fell back to about 6th position, has gained 2 spots, now running 4th here into lap 136. Cody Fisher back there in front of Robbie Bunden. Bunden was looking solid before the yellow flag, as now he's behind Leveralt, although Leveralt is a couple laps down. Was able to get a wave around under the competition caution. Neff working his way into the front stretch towards turn number 1. Now past the halfway point tonight, lap 139. And the 60 Winn-Dixie makes its way into turn number 3, about 7 to 8 tenths ahead of the 42 of Mecca. Kyle Barnes still trying to fend off the 53 of Austin Coop as they work their way through turn 4. Austin Coop, one of the late entries into this series, and with Barnes making contact into the wall, the 53 car got a chance here to pass him on the inside. Side-by-side action across that start-finish line, but the 46 of Barnes looking to come back down and block out that 53, but not going to be able to do it. Preferred line tonight here for the 46 of Kyle Barnes is the middle groove, while Coop has been versatile, working either or. As you see Ellison back there. Now you see the Tour Modified driver begin to work his way through the lights as he's to the inside of Benny Ellison. So Brian Neff now looks to challenge the second place light modified driver for some track position here. Out of turn number 2, Brian Neff to the inside of Austin Coop. That extra horsepower really playing off in the straights. As you see the cars hanging with him in the turns, the light modifieds can really hang with the Tours in these turns. But it's the horsepower right here out of 2 where he's going to get that extra little jump to be able to get around Kyle Barnes. So the 2 leaders find themselves side by side yet again for about the 4th time here tonight. Into lap 146 as Brian Neff goes around Kyle Barnes. Clean air here for the 60. Almost up to a 1-second lead now as he comes across the start-finish line into lap 147. Kyle Barnes dealing with second place Zach Mecca in the Tours as he's going to go to the inside. Here in turn number 3, Barnes going way high. In turn number 4, a little bit of connection issues there with the 46. In the backstretch to turn number 3, Mecca is going to clear Barnes. Still some connection issues there with the 46. Austin Coop now can see Benny Ellison approaching quicker and quicker with every lap that passes the 0-1 car. Looking to get up there and challenge for that second position slot. Christian Peterson back in 3rd position, about 5 seconds behind your race leader. Really suffering from that competition caution that put him back in the field. Still plenty of time to go. Less than 100 laps now remain as Brian Neff clicks over into lap 152. Nice little battle though for position 4 as Adam Rigo and Cody Fisher battle it out. 17 of Rigo, 83 of Fisher. Fisher still ahead as they head into turns 1 and 2. Leverall back there, 2 laps down in 7th position, but Robbie Bunden is your 6th position driver now across that start-finish line. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks to me as if the 46 of Kyle Barnes has had a connection problem that was just too much. I do not see the 46 on the track. Not sure if he's going to return. For now, it has put the 53 of Austin Coop up to the race lead into lap 157. A little bit of sway there from the 60 of Neff out of turn number 4. Neff now almost a 2-second lead over the 42 of Zach Mecca as Mecca makes his way into the front stretch. Just about a turn behind the 60 of Brian Neff. Peterson looking to gain some time. Just past an Austin Coop. Cody Fisher now looks to the inside of Benny Ellison. Adam Rigo will be taking the low groove as well. Into the backstretch they go. Benny Ellison still working at a higher groove. Makes contact with the wall in the front stretch. Boy, these Tour Modifieds are surrounding this light modified driver as Robbie Bundon now looks to the inside of Ellison into turns 3 and 4. Ellison is like a bumblebee in a hornet's nest here, folks, coming out of turn number 2, surrounded by these higher horsepower Tour Modifieds. Leveralt looks to the inside, not able to get by Ellison in the curve. Turns 1 and 2, Leveralt hanging with Ellison. Ellison really working that outside groove, but it is the straightaway that gives way to the 7th and allows him to get by the 0-1 of Benny Ellison. Kyle Barnes has returned, ladies and gentlemen. Took a quick trip back to 1955, saw Doc Brown, and decided to come back here to 2016 and finish the race at South Boston. What a time that you're going to hit 88 miles an hour and take you back to the past than when you're leading a race at South Boston. Tough break there for the 46 of Kyle Barnes. Brian Neves now, total of 74, now crossing the start-finish line, 75 laps led for the 60 Winn-Dixie. Out of turn number 2, still holding on to that race lead, 2.29 seconds over this guy right here, the 42 of Zach Mecca. From what I'm being told, we may have one more competition caution here, folks, at South Boston. That should come probably in the next 15 to 20 laps. Neff now looks to make his way behind the light modified driver Scott Naslund, the 33 car just ahead of your Tour Modified leader in the backstretch towards turn number 3. Naslund working that lower groove as well. It's going to make the 60 work for position. He's going to have to use the straightaway, and he's going to dive it down in the lower groove, turns 1 and 2. And the Tour Modified driver will get by Naslund. So the leader's yet to make acquaintances yet again for the 5th time tonight, as Brian Neff is quickly approaching the 53 of Austin Coop. Neff gets by Ellison. Into the front stretch comes your Tour Modified leader, making his way to the light modified leader as Austin Coop. It is these straightaways that is given the ability for the Tour Modifieds to get by these lights. Can't say it enough that the light modified drivers do not have to give up the line for the Tours. It's up to the Tours to find a way around the lights. And now Brian Neff, just a couple of car lengths behind your light modified leader, as Coop is going to give him a nod, go up high, allow the Tour Modified leader by. So the 5th time tonight, both division leaders give each other a nod and a pass as the Tour Modified leader Brian Neff now passes Austin Coop. Zach Mecca looking to get around Benny Ellison. Ellison to the high side in turn number 4. Mecca, the 2nd place driver, currently running in the Tour Modifieds, makes his way around Ellison. Scott Naslund, your 2nd place light modified driver, through 3 and 4 now, into lap 179. And it looks like Cody Fisher and Kyle Leverott are going to receive an additional lap down as Neff makes his way by him. Rigo and Bunden really battling it out for that 4th position slot. Leverall, lap traffic in the mix as Bunden behind Leverall. Rigo has got 4th position here in the lap 182. Leverall works the inside of Rigo and gets around him. And now Bunden and Rigo battle again for 4th position as the 87 car looking to the inside of that patriotic number 17 of Adam Rigo. And Bunden to the inside of the first couple turns. Looks like he might have 4th position, and he's going to get it as Adam Rigo now falls to 5th position into a lap 185. Beautiful inside pass from the 87 of Robbie Bunden. Bittersweet pass here, because now here comes your Tour Modified leader, Brian Neff, out of turn number 4. Picks up a total of 96 laps led. Zach Mecca still has a nice gap between him and Christian Peterson. As you see, Peterson was just entering turn number 1, while Mecca was pretty much out of 2. About a 4-second gap between the two of them. After this week, folks, this is being the Labor Day Bash. With the Labor Day week coming up, these guys are going to receive 1 week off. It'll be an off week next Wednesday night. Coming up 2 weeks from today, on September 14th, these drivers will be back in action at Thompson for a nice 150 lap race there. And the bounties will be placed again on Peterson as Christian Peterson has just been dominant in this Modified Madness Tour. Came back from a 5th place deficit after the first race at USA International Speedway back on May 25th. Took tires, an incident similar to what Clint Krause saw here tonight, where he went down and took tires when you were not allowed to take tires. There was a 150 lap race there at USA. He came down about midway through the race to get some fuel, and the jacks went up, tires came off, and so did this opportunity for points. So as we look around the track, we can see that Race Control has thrown another competition caution here on lap 195. Giving these guys about 55 laps. Solidify their adjustments and shoot for the victory here tonight. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, it'll be the conclusion of the race here, the Labor Day 250, sponsored by Good Sam Port Chiswell Park, RV Park. This is the Modified Madness Tour here on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network.
So I'm Dan Garrison, engineer at iRacing. I've been working on dynamic track and wanted to take the lab coat off to kind of give an update on what I've been doing to enhance things on the asphalt side, what we're kind of calling the dynamic track version 2. When we started looking at dirt and the interaction between the tire and the track, kind of pointed us to some things we could improve on the asphalt side as well. We were able to kind of rework the calculations that account for heat transferring generally in the direction from the tire to the track. the track will cool a little bit faster when cars are not on it, but more significantly, cars running on the track are going to impart more energy into it, bringing the temperature up and changing the racing experience so that you do have to be wary of the track getting hot and reducing your grip. I've been rethinking some of the calculations that determine kind of how the rubber is torn, whether it's how much is torn from the tire, how much is torn from a rubbered-in track. I've made some changes so that rolling tire will pick up more rubber. We also looked at the thickness of the rubber under the contact patch and realized we can make improvements to the model there. As a result, we're able to make the tire respond a little bit more to how much rubber is there. We're able to influence how fast the track rubbers in areas where the tires are working hard. So I'm excited about these changes that we're making. The temperature in the track is going to be a lot more dynamic. It's going to mean you're going to have to dive around looking for the cool parts of the track. I think it's going to make the different lines come in and change the racing experience, and I'm really kind of excited to see how this is going to change things following the September build when it comes out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, this Wednesday night. This was moments ago. Here's we're going to run the replay. Lights had come off the pace car in the restart. Brian Neff's car is going to get demolished in the front stretch. This is going to be some late race drama taking place here at South Boston. As the pace car heads into the pits, you're going to see the green flag come out. Right here. And right there already getting turned. And Brian Neff is going to get some airtime right over the 42 of Zach Mecca into the 87 of Bunden. It's going to come down right in front of Naslin. Naslin is going to make some contact right there. Continuing to send the 60 of Neff in the air and spinning towards turn number 1. Barnes is going to get on the brakes really quick. And the 60 of Brian Neff, who has led 109 laps here tonight, is going to have a late race dramatic incident. He's still down there on pit road. Somehow, some way, this 23 car finds its way to the front each time. 99% of the time, he races his way there. 0.01. Got to give it to a little bit of luck. Unfortunate luck here tonight, coming at the expense of a wrecked Brian Neff. Lights come off the pace car. We're going to be back green on lap 207. Peterson to set that pace as the pace car into 3 looks to go into the pits. And there it goes. Into the front stretch.
Green flag.
The green flag flies. Here we go. Lap 207 underway. Peterson into the backstretch. Bunden behind him. Mecca to the inside now. Round the light modifieds back in third position. A major incident and a big pile up into turn number 1. A lot of smoke. And some more late race drama unfolding. The nerves beginning to take the toll on these drivers. As we go back and take a look following Zach Mecca, we're going to bring it over to Naslin here. Naslin seemed to be in the mix of a lot of it. Right here, Robbie Bunden already got spun out, and it looks like Cody Fisher and Adam Rigo are going to have some contact, as well as Naslin into the side of Ellison. And Ellison's going to go for a ride in the air. So turn one here tonight has given more airtime, frequent flyer miles, I think, than JetBlue Airlines in the last 20 years. And out of turn number two, more rubber has been laid down as well. So Christian Peterson will stay at the race lead. Austin Coop has the lead for the light modifieds momentarily here into lap 212. Lights come off the pace car. Mecca will be to the outside of Peterson. Pace car into the pits. The flag man gives the signal.
Flag,
There's the green flag. We are back to the race. So Fisher and Leverald, a couple of the drivers. Leverald actually holding on to keep his car out there. Fisher, fortunately, has pulled into the pits. It'll be 35 to go. Next time around, Mecca and Bunden, Mecca and Leverald had a little side-by-side action. There's Robbie Bunden, now behind Zach Mecca in the battle for second position. Rigo looking to get around Barnes to the inside. Barnes tonight looked really solid until he had the connection issues. 114 laps led for the 86 car. 5 laps down to Coop. Coop actually behind Barnes is the light modified leader. Peterson almost up to a 2-second lead over Zach Mecca now. Really wants to affirm a victory here before the week break. That'll be some nice momentum to carry into Thompson Speedway when the league resumes on September 14th. Mecca and Bunden battling for second position as the 87 car putting a little damage there on the 42 of Mecca. As you can see, a little bit of a crinkle job there on the back of Mecca coming from that 87 car. So they look to give him a little bit more there before turn number 3. Bunden playing the patient game here behind Mecca. 2 different lines being run. And it looks like Bunden's running kind of an inverse line to what Mecca's running, setting up for a possible inside pass in turns 1 and 2. See how he sways wide in turns 1 and 2, which is going to cause Mecca to come up the contour and to the inside. Bunden looks like he might get a shot to pass the 42 at some point. Barnes is going to get a lap back here as he passes your race leader, Austin Coop, for the light modifieds. Just under 25 laps to go here for the Labor Day Bash 250 at South Boston. Peterson and Barnes, your two leaders. Peterson now into cruise control mode as he's got about a 4-second lead over Zach Mecca, who's still trying to battle off Robbie Bunden. Bunden holding a little bit back, was avoiding contact there between 1 and 2, pushed up the track. No contact with the wall, but he's going to be right back in action here with the 42 of Zach Mecca. Naslund and Ellison both have retired their cars to the pits tonight, leaving Austin Coop pretty much with a surefire victory if he finishes this race. Peterson now into the front stretch towards turn number 1. Just about 18 laps remaining. And it looks like life from the 33 car has come out. Scott Naslund making his way off of pit road into the backstretch. Was hoping to come back out, but he's going to go right back into the pits. Just been a tough break here for that 33 car tonight. Coop and Barnes, little side-by-side action, not a position battle. Barnes just trying to regain a lap here, as Naslund is down there on pit road doing some pass-throughs, possibly trying to get some laps over Benny Ellison. Your Tour Modified leader, Christian Peterson, total of 71 laps led here in this race. Looking to catch your light modified leader, Austin Coop, here as he comes out of turn number 2. Austin Coop behind Kyle Barnes into turn 4. Peterson now approaching quickly. And it's going to be a 6-time handshake here tonight, folks, between both the light modified and tour modified leader here at South Boston. Peterson now to the back. Coop does not have to give way, but Barnes does because he's lap traffic. Leveralt in front of Peterson is also lap traffic. Leveralt will take the inside of Coop into turn 3 with about 10 laps to go. Now 9 as they cross that start-finish line. Peterson really not worried about passing at this point. Coop is going to touch the apron there. In turn 4, get a little bit loose. Peterson being slowed up by lap traffic. Mecca has gained almost a 1.5 seconds. Peterson's really got to keep an eye out. That 42 doesn't catch him here. We got about 7 to go. Coop now works his way through turn number 4. 6 laps remain. And the gap still about a 0.5 second. Closing in Zach Mecca to Christian Peterson as Peterson just casually strolling now. Knows he has a sizable lead no imminent threat at this point for the 23 car, as Coop stays behind Barnes to keep him an extra lap up, and not going down here out of 4. 4 laps remain. Mecca now down to a 2-second gap from a 5.5-second gap. Mecca is rallying back. He knows Peterson is casual mode here. 3 laps to go, and here comes Zach Mecca. 1.7 seconds, and I think Peterson sees him, so he's going to kick it up and possibly start to work around these light modifieds. With 2 laps to go, it's going to be the white flag the next time by, and Zach Mecca has closed the gap to 1.3 seconds now. And Peterson starts to kick it up just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, out of turn number 4, here's the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Mecca gets under 1 second. They are within view distance now. Coming out of turn number 4, and in good fashion, both your leaders, 1-2 right here. The checkered flag. Austin Coop takes victory in the light modifieds. Christian Peterson taking victory in the tour modifieds. We'll take you up to the one camera. Beautiful firework display there off of turn number 3. And Peterson doing a nice little burnout for his victory tonight. As we look to talk to the light modified winner here tonight, Austin Coop joins me in the booth. Talking a little bit about your race here tonight, Austin. There was good battle there with Kyle Barnes.
Oh, definitely. That was one of the most fun races I've ever had. It really stinks that he had the connection issues that he did, and I would have done a burnout if I eventually passed him at the end, but I didn't, so I felt like Kyle truly deserved the win. He had the internet issue. Definitely was a really fun race. The setup was definitely the best setup for that car that I've ever driven. It was great at the beginning. Took about the first 50 laps to get the setup just right. Fell off a few seconds, but once I got in the long run, I really felt comfortable with the car, and I think me and Kyle battled at least half the race total for that, and it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. I'll take a win when I can get it, but definitely stinks. I think Kyle deserved this one, and if we had a trophy, I'd definitely give it to him if he would take it.
Well, seeing as you guys are going to have a week off next week, you'll be back on the 14th at Thompson. What can we expect there from good old Coop team rolling in the 53 car?
Well, we don't race that often, so it's really nice when we do show up that we're here to play. This is our first race or our first win of the season, so it's definitely a good momentum roller. And I was going to take it next week off anyway, so it's good to come back the next week after that and show everybody what we got, and that we're not, we got a lot under the hood of these cars, and as you saw today, we weren't afraid to show it.
Definitely did so in good fashion, though it did come at the expense of a Barnes disconnection, and still would have gave a heck of a fight to the end. Is there any additional thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory tonight?
Yeah, the purple and green scheme is for all the people in my life that have been affected by all the cancers out there. So the green one especially is for Laura. She's doing really good. And purple obviously for breast cancer, and lots of people out there for that. So that's what that paint scheme is for, and I'll hopefully get a better version of it soon.
All right. Well, congratulations to your victory here for the Labor Day Bash 250, picking up the win at South Boston. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks at Thompson Motor Speedway.
Thank you very much. Happy to be on.
There you have it, folks. Number 53 of Austin Coop taking victory in the light modified division. And this guy that we're about to talk to here in the Tour Modifieds is no stranger to victory lane, picking up another victory here in the Modified Madness Tour tonight at South Boston Christian. Just similar to what Austin Coop dealt with in the lights, you rallied your way back, battled some good spots up front, had some laps led. In the end, it's a total of 86. Fortunately, it looked like it came at the expense of a Brian Neff restart, or a failed restart. He got wrecked there in turn number 1. Tell us, up until that point, what was the thoughts, what was the strategy you were going to look to possibly come away with victory had Neff been able to stay out?
Well, going in tonight, I didn't have any practice here. I had something to do before the race and not a lot of laps, and put down a pretty slow qualifying lap. So the beginning of the race, the first like 50, 75 laps or something, I was just trying to learn the track, learn the line with the setup that we were using, and just kind of ride around, to see what the car could take. I knew we were having a competition caution at some point because it looked like it was going to be pretty clean at the beginning of the race, so we ended up getting that. I took tires on the first one there at lap 115 or something, and from there, I guess there was another competition caution later in the race at like lap 190 something, and I didn't know that there was going to be 2 yellows, or competition yellows, I should say. So I didn't expect to get another chance to take tires. So I took them there early, and once I figured out there was going to be another one, I just kind of rode around doing like 4/10 off the pace, keeping the tires under it, and it paid off there at the end. I think even if those guys didn't wreck on the restart, I would have been able to get by them and possibly pull away, but it sucked to see what happened there on the restart. I heard it was some wheel spin, but it looked otherwise.
Well, it definitely gives you an extra boost or extra notch to your confidence here in this series. Rolling into next week, taking a week off. We'll be back on the 14th at Thompson Motor Speedway and pretty much dominating the Tour division. What's this setup for you guys here when we resume in a couple weeks?
Just same thing we did last week. Hopefully we get some more guys to come out. I know Sobo's a little bit of a bull ring, so it kind of strays away some people who don't like the wreck fest and racing real tight together, but it was fun. All in all, we got a lot of green flag laps there early, and hopefully we can do the same thing next week.
Is there any additional thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for the Peterson Irrigation and Sixth Man Inc. car?
Just, again, week in, week out, everybody at Sixth Man who, just comes and hangs out and has a good time here on iRacing. It's a lot of fun. And just Kyle and you guys for doing everything you do, put this show on.
All right. Well, congratulations on a victory here tonight. Late part of the race here at South Boston, able to take victory. Look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks there at Thompson.
All right. Thanks, Dustin.
There you have it, folks. Both your winners here tonight. We're going to see if we can get the Mr. Kyle Barnes back in the booth as he casually strolls in here. We're going to talk a little bit about this trip back to 1955 tonight, having a little bit of connection problems there, but you're able to come back and finish up the race here with Austin Coop towards the end. Pretty dominant tonight, though, Kyle. Tell us a little bit about your race up until the point of the disconnect.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of fun. I was able to utilize the top side of the track. Those Tour Modifieds are definitely putting down the rubber. You could tell as the race went on how much darker it got down towards the bottom of the racetrack. It was real hot and slick down there, so I moved up pretty early, actually, and it worked out for me right up until the connection issues. It sucks, but it's part of sim racing. I think ever since the last build, they've been having a Q bar glitch or something. Once the Q bar goes red, it's just kind of like the red ring of death, like on the old Xbox 360s. I mean, you just screwed. So we had that tonight. It is what it is. They definitely knew we were here, though, and that's the main thing. But it definitely is a blast racing with these league members when I get the chance. Owning the league, I don't always get a chance to run with these guys in the Premier Series. But these past few weeks, where some real-life racers have had some points battles that they've been heated with in real life and haven't been able to run with us, it's given me an opportunity to get out of the race control booth and back down there on the Speedway where I really enjoy being, and it's just been some great racing with these guys.
Definitely was a great race tonight here for the Labor Day Bash 250, also sponsored by Good Sam. The Fort Chiswell RV Park 250, labeled kind of synonymous here with tonight. definitely did those guys really well. Had that special event for them a couple weeks back, and I think they wanted to come back and put another sponsor for the Labor Day Bash 250 here tonight. Definitely did a great job. Couple weeks, we'll be back on the 14th. Kyle, what are you going to do on your week off?
Not really sure. Probably do something with the guys here in the league. Anytime there's a week off, there's normally not any racing off. Normally we're still on here racing. All of us like to get on here and TeamSpeak, jump into some hosted sessions with some other leagues. So you'll probably find us in the hosted session page of iRacing come next Wednesday night. But definitely excited to get back with this series. I think in 2 weeks we're at Thompson. That race should definitely be freaking awesome, just to put it blunt, with the lights and the tours both fighting to get up on that top side and the lights not moving out of the way for the tours. You're definitely going to see some exciting 2 and maybe even 3 wide passes as we head up north.
All right. Well, 2 weeks from tonight, race number 13 of this nice 22-week season. 22 weeks counting the weeks off. But definitely look forward to it. Kyle, appreciate you joining me in the booth here tonight, both before and after the race. We'll look forward to seeing these modifieds and the madness continue on September 14th.
All right. We'll see you then.
Well, there you have it, folks. What a great night of racing here at South Boston Speedway. A lot of battling, a lot of drama. Everything you would come to expect from short track racing took place here tonight. Results on your screen: Christian Peterson, the 6-man East Peterson Irrigation number 23 car yet again, finding victory lane in the Tour of Modifieds, but don't give anything away from that 60 of Brian Neff, the Winn-Dixie car. Had almost the most laps led here tonight. Actually did have the most laps led here tonight. 109 laps led on that 60 car. He'll end up finishing back in the 6th position in the Tour of Modifieds. Mecca, Bundon, Rigo will round out your top 4. Coop, Leverald. Coop will finish victory. Even though he showed 5th here, folks, he does take victory in the lights. Leverald will finish out the top 5 in the Tours. Barnes 2nd there in the lights. Neff, Naslin, Fisher. Those are going to round out your field here as we look further on back to the results. Ellison Crowell, tough night for Clint Crowell. Had the pole. First 31 laps led. And it was a lap 33 incident that eventually ended his night. Seth the Merchant, Jason Freeman, Tanner Cook, Zach Knowles here for some autograph sessions. But folks, what a great night of racing. Again, we'll be back for the Modified Madness Tour on September 14th. Coming up tomorrow night, Sim Auto Racing Association and their championship race will be broadcasted here on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. That's going to do it for us all tonight, folks. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow night.